Opening weekend of baseball in the books. We got a new studio, and Bert's got some serious info for you. Baseball Insider starts right now. Robert Murray, I don't want to make a big deal out of it, but we got a new setup over here. I'm feeling like a fish out of water. Big day here. Things are moving around.
Telling you, Carm, I saw that as soon as you ended up hopping on the channel here, and I looked, and I like that back, like that baseball behind you. You got the Drink Body Armor right there too.
My peeps at Body Armor, not sponsored the podcast yet, but hey,
the keyword there is yet.
Yet is the key. So hey, Robert, we got a lot going on today, buddy. A lot going on, and we're gonna hit the Phillies and Blue Jays can't stop crushing the baseball. The White Sox are taking 2 out of 3 from the Tigers, but dealing with a bunch of injuries. Carlos Rodon dominant with the Giants, looking like the signing of the offseason, if I can overplay one start, but very impressive. And is his name Roki Sasaki? Roki Sasaki. Japanese baseball, the NPB, throwing 19 strikeouts in a perfect game. I mean, a lot going on here, Bert. Good to see you, buddy. Going on.
And also, before we get into that, Carm, I got to bring up some beef that I have with you.
Oh.
Yeah, there's tension in the baseball insiders. So
I didn't notice.
So full disclosure here, about 6 weeks ago, I followed Carm on Instagram because I wanted to be a pal.
Oh, wow.
And I never got a follow back.
Wow.
And I am officially, as the kids say, bitter.
Yeah, no, you should be. That's wrong. I feel terrible. But see, I'm so bad at Instagram. Do you follow me on TikTok?
I do not even have the TikTok app on my phone, so I do not.
See, I'm a TikTok guy, Bert. I just put up a great top 5 reasons the Bears should stay at Soldier Field. I highly recommend it. By the way, also check out the Windy City podcast, if I may. But Instagram never really been my thing.
Okay.
So that's on me. I should be better at Instagram. I apologize, and I will rectify that situation. Actually, I'll do it right now, Bert.
Wow, what a guy.
Yeah, I know. It's not anything that's going to satisfy. When you're being forced to follow somebody, it's really not good. But are you the same? By Robert Murray. There you are, buddy. I'm following you back. Your account is private. How do I have more Instagram followers than you? And I'm bad at Instagram.
I don't let random people follow me.
Why not? Make that thing public. What's wrong with you?
No, I can't do it, Carl. I like to have my private life stay privite. So, well, now I'm being pressured on the Baseball Insiders. Folks. Peer pressure.
Hit Robert up on Twitter where he's not private. If you want to get a little more, I mean, come on. We want to see Bert out in the wilderness on Instagram. That's you're depriving the people, dude.
Hey, although I will say that Sean Daly just said he followed me, and I just got the notification too to back it up. So Sean's always been my guy. That day one homie right there. So, sorry for pressuring you into following me, Carm.
I mean, no problem there, Bert. I apologize. I should have been paying more attention. And by the way, the Carm 23 on Instagram, not a great follow, but you might as well hit me up over there too. Cause whenever I do put up stuff, it's of course gold. Cause that's what I don't do anything else that's other than gold. All right. All right. So number one story from the weekend for you was, go ahead, Robert.
So I'm going to bring up Ke'Bryan Hayes for me. So that entire extension, they had been working on that for about 4 days. And then I can't remember what morning it was, but it was early one morning. He ended up agreeing to the extension. It was 8 years for $70 million with a club option for a 9th year. Agreed to it, had a press conference at his locker in the visiting clubhouse in St. Louis. And he was happy-go-lucky. He was super cheerful and joyful. Had not signed the contract yet. It was pending a physical. All of a sudden, first inning, he gets hurt. And he exits the game. And all of a sudden, like, you talk to people that are involved and it's like, oh shit, like this thing, is it going to get voided now? And then word quickly got back that it was not a serious injury. And then after like an hour or so, it was determined that it was just like a cramp in his thumb or forearm, which I think that's the first time I've ever heard of a thumb cramp. Um, but that went from a very celebratory time for him to like just a completely scary moment, just like at the snap of a finger. Um, all signs point to a deal getting done and announced by Tuesday. So like it's going to happen, but like that to me was the story of the weekend, just because it was such a roller coaster ride for a little bit there.
So it's the largest contract in Pittsburgh Pirate history. 8 years, 70 million. You're signing up to be on a team that's largest contract in baseball history, if I may repeat myself, is 8 years and 70 million. So the chances that you're going to be winning baseball games is not likely. However, 8 years, 70 million, that sounds good from this seat, Bert. So I get it. You're locked in for life, and you can always end up getting traded from Pittsburgh at some point down the line.
Exactly, because that, like, from everything that I gather, there's not a no trade clause in this deal. So I mean, he can get traded at any point. And it's pretty crazy to me, Carm, that their biggest deal was from 2000. Do you know who it was?
Biggest deal in Pirates history from 2000. That's going to be a tough one for me to pull.
Do you want to just say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jason Kendall.
That's so weird because I was going to say Jason Kendall, but by 2000, I thought he was too old for that.
See, right? Yeah, same. Exactly.
But, I mean, Jason Kendall, long time Pirate. End of his career, he was a Cub.
People forget that. Cubs legend, Jason Kendall.
Cubs legend, Jason Kendall. Couldn't get the ball out of the infield, but he was a stalwart behind the plate. Yeah. Good old Jason Kendall. Hey, listen, a lot of guys, they turn down long-term deals because they're trying to squeeze the last dollar. You just got $70 million. You're good for life, dude.
Yeah, you're set.
And you're I mean, like, you're insanely set, and you're 25. So, he'll be 33. I guess it's still can still make a couple dollars on the back end here. But all right.
Yeah. And so, like, to add to this too, I had heard there was a lot of people. Well, okay, let me rephrase this. There was some people who thought Hayes should have gotten more. I understand that argument, just because less than $9 million a year for a potential franchise player could end up turning out to be pretty light. But like, this is life-changing money for the player. And it's also not a guarantee that he ends up living up to the potential that the Pirates and so many other people in baseball think that he has. Because if you look at his numbers, I'm looking at my notebook real quick, he's never hit more than 10 home runs in a season. Look at his injury history too. He's been on the IL with a rib injury, COVID IL, got hand issues in 2021, dealt with an ankle injury this spring. I mean, he's capable of running, but like, he hasn't, like, he's more of a defensive first player because he can be like a Gold Glove guy rather than like a hitting first. So, I mean, he comes with question marks, Carm. So I can't fault him for doing this deal at all.
Yeah, again, congratulations to Brian Hayes and the entire Hayes family. You're set for life, and take care of your money. And if you need a financial advisor, I've got a good one for you. His name's Robert Murray. Look at him. Has there ever been a more solid person in life than you? I would trust you with anything, Robert, by the way.
Wow, that means a lot, Carm. I appreciate that. I try my best, at least.
You do a great job there. All right, let's move to the Blue Jays. Down 7 to the Rangers. They come back and win on opening day, and then they're leading by a bunch, and their bullpen comes in and blows games. But this is a team that mashes baseballs here, Bert. Very tough schedule for Toronto. 20 of their next 23, Yankees, Red Sox, Astros. So, I mean, long season. I suppose it doesn't really matter what you do in April at the end of the day, but it is an interesting stretch here if you are paying attention to how teams do early in the season.
Yeah, they're running through the absolute gauntlet to begin the year. And like, I'll tell you, that first game against the Rangers, when they were down 7-0, John Gray was pitching lights out through 4 innings. And all of a sudden the Blue Jays start doing what they do best, and they start mashing. And potent. They were hitting. They have a lot of big boppers in that lineup. That's a phrase that needs to be brought back more. Is big boppers.
More big boppers. Yeah, I agree. Let's talk about their big boppers. Who's your favorite big bopper of all the boppers in the Blue Jays lineup?
Well, boy, that's a lot of boppers there. But I mean, you got to go with Vlad Guerrero Jr. I mean, that guy hits absolute taters, Carm.
That's a big bopper. That's
a very big bopper. Yeah, literally and figuratively. But like, I mean, you got Bo Bichette too. I love Bo Bichette. Like that guy, stud. Since
Bo Bopper Bichette. Damn it!
Whoa, the triple B's.
The triple B on one guy.
Whoa, Carm, I'm telling you, like we need to trademark that thing.
You picked the Blue Jays to win the AL East there, Bert.
I picked him to represent the American League in the World Series.
That's what I meant. I forgot that you went all that way. I'm sorry I didn't review your predictions to the fullest, but I remember you saying you liked him in the AL East.
Yeah, no, hey, good memory though, Carm. That's a very good memory. But yeah, I'll tell you, like that lineup from top to bottom is a very scary unit. And then you also have that pitching staff too. It's gonna be pretty difficult to replace a guy like Robbie Ray because he was just so good for them last year. But from top to bottom, like they have one of the deepest teams in the American League for sure.
Yeah. So Blue Jays bottom line built to last. That's the take here on the Baseball Insiders. Also mashing Bert. Let's not. There's a lot of guys, by the way, that I find it interesting that I'm just reading. Players having hot starts but outside of any players, a lot of dudes are catching up to high velocity pitching. Like there was an adjustment being made. 98 smoked up the middle. So it seems like the pitchers had the edge on the heat for a while, but hitters doing whatever drills they've been doing. Cause we see those 130 mile an hour guns in the batting cage that guys are using to make a 100 mile an hour pitch look slow. There's some adjustments going on at the plate.
There absolutely is. And like you're seeing this instant success where guys are just hitting it into the third deck in the outfield. Like you see that with the Twins a couple times with Carlos Correa hit one, and I think it was Buxton hit another. And I mean, you've seen that throughout like the entire league is the amount of home runs and offense we've seen. And you got to figure that these teams and the pitching staffs are going to adjust. And you also wonder if you're going to end up seeing teams try to go for the guys who throw a little bit softer, but also locate and can like have those secondary pitches that counteract those screaming fastballs. So maybe it doesn't happen instantly. Maybe it doesn't even happen at the trade deadline, but like I would imagine at some point we're going to end up seeing like the pitching start to shift again a little bit. But like the high velocity is going to be here to stay. It's just having those different looks throughout the rotation.
Yeah. Let's talk Phillies. Yeah. Also killing baseballs. Also with some interesting matchups coming up here. But Bert, you where did you have the Phillies? I forget exactly on that one.
I think I had them third. I want to say. Yeah, that sounds right. Because I have the Braves winning that division. I also have the Mets finishing second. So apologies to Sean Daly, who's a diehard Phillies fan. No shots intended there, but
no, not at all. I mean, look, they put up 9 on the A's on Friday, doubled them up on Saturday. Then it's been a cascade the other way. But you like what you're seeing.
I love what I'm seeing with them. And they, to me, so you have their 3 main guys: Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, and Nick Castellanos. Mm-hmm. Like that. I mean, that's about as good of a trio as you're going to get if you're not the Dodgers. Then you also have JT Realmuto, you have Bryson Stott. You have a lot of these other pieces that they have too. And to me, last year I predicted that Corbin Burns was going to win the Cy Young Award. This year, I'm going to make a prediction that the Phillies are going to break the single season team home run record. I am pretty convinced of that after 3 games. That's my hot take for the year. I'll tweet that at some point just so I'm on the record there. But like I'm a big believer in the big boppers of the Phillies. They got some major talent there. Whoa, the Giants will break their own record, according to, I'm assuming that is Hunter with the Giants take there.
That is definitely Hunter with the Giants take.
Yeah, there he is. But yeah, I'm convinced that the Phillies are going to end up doing that. Like, granted that they stay healthy.
Yeah. Well, we can move along since Hunter's bringing up the Giants. We can bring along like just opening weekend huge performances. Carlos Rodon, who did not finish last season healthy and was non-tendered before that by the White Sox.
Yep.
Signs a 2-year, $44 million deal with the San Francisco Giants. It's got an out clause too that he can get out of. So the Giants are locked in. If this guy falls apart, you're still playing him 44 for 2. If he's great, Rodon can get out. I did not like this deal for San Francisco at all. But hey, first player in Giants history to have 12 strikeouts with less than 90 pitches. That's only happened 17 times in baseball history for the record. 5 innings of work. Of course, the Giants lost the game. But he struck out 12 batters, 24 swinging strikes, which is tops in the majors as well. So, I mean, the dude looked phenomenal. He had a great start to his Giants career.
That's exactly right. And that's what Farhan Zaidi in that front office was hoping for when they signed him, is performances like that. And it made me wonder when the last time is the Giants have had a start like that on opening day. And the only answer I could come back with is maybe Madison Bumgarner, but like the one that kept popping into my head was Tim Lincecum, who's actually my favorite pitcher of all time. I mean, granted, completely different pitcher than Lincecum. But like Rodon, if he can stay healthy, having him with Logan Webb atop that rotation is ridiculously filthy. And Matt Cain's a good pull too from Hunter. Matt Cain, very underrated pitcher in my opinion. But like that Giants rotation is built to be very, very good, better than last year, in my opinion. And they also re-signed some of their own guys, Anthony Desclafini, Alex Wood, who I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But like Webb and Rodon are going to make it go. And so far, so good for both of those guys.
Was anybody else in on Rodon in the offseason? Yes,
that market was very active when he ended up signing with the Giants. So I can't reveal the teams that were in. I was not given permission to do that. But his market, let's just say this, was very, very, very active.
Even today on April the 11th, we can't get a reveal on teams that were in?
Nope. And I mean, I haven't asked, to be fair, but like back when he was signing, I wasn't able to report those teams. So I'm not going to like assume that it's okay now. So maybe for next week, maybe I check in and then reveal them for next week.
Can we okay. Let's just put your feet to the fire on that one. I want to check in, and Baseball Insiders listeners, we're all going to be on pins and needles for you to come back next week and let us know who else was in on Carlos Rodon and why the Giants get all the flowers, because they were willing to pull the trigger when others were not. People want to know that, Bert.
Oh, they do want to know that, and I'll be able to provide that for them, hopefully. But I will be able to add some insight on Alex Wood, though, if you're very interested in that, Carm.
Okay. Do you want to do that now, or should I move on to another impressive performance from the weekend?
Let's do it now since we're talking Giants.
Okay.
So I was at Brewers Giants. It was a couple weeks ago, out at spring training, and I was in the clubhouse talking to some different players when I heard Colton Wong walk in and make a comment about how good Alex Wood looked. So I was like, okay, I wonder what he saw. And I asked him, I was like, what specifically about Alex Wood looked really good to you? And he said, bro, I don't know, but I've faced Alex Wood quite a bit in my career, and I've never seen him look that good. In his first couple outings of spring, he was awesome. His last one was a clunker, but the Giants have really liked what they've seen from Wood, and they ended up committing in 2 years for, I think, 25 in that range million. And if that deal to me can end up proving out to be a steal if he stays healthy. And Farhan Zaidi has always had a belief in Alex Wood from the time that he was with the Dodgers, ended up signing him to a 1-year deal in San Francisco, then signed him to a multi-year deal this year. And I would fully expect that he'll be able to live up to that 2 year for 25 million range deal that he signed this winter. And maybe even exceeds it too.
All right. Can we go on to another red hot guy?
Let's do it.
So Stephen Kwan, Dateline Cleveland, the Guardians.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that there's some people that are listening to this podcast that might not know who that is, but this is a dude who was not a top prospect in baseball. I mean, not even close, but in the lineup, he's 5'9". The dude goes 8 for 10, 3 walks, didn't strike out. And maybe most impressively, he swung 19 times over the weekend, Bert. 19 swings. How many times did he miss?
0.
Not once. 10 balls in plays, 9 foul balls. 19 swings, never missed the baseball. I don't have an official stat going back in time on that, but I think that's definitely a record for 19 swings. Pretty damn impressive.
So I'm pulling up a stat here from Sarah Langs, very good over at MLB Network, MLB.com. And she said the qualified batters who have not had a swing and miss yet this season, Kwan was actually number 2. So number 1 is Ahmed Rosario at 21, which also very impressive. But like the fact that he's been able to do this, Carm, I mean, how many people knew who Stephen Kwan is or was entering the season?
Not me, tell you that much.
No, and like there's people that are like completely like blown away by this. And I mean, obviously 8 for 10, that's not a sustainable pace. But like that has to be the story of the season so far, at least for the first 3 games. Cause like, I mean, something I really enjoy about baseball is how these under the radar guys kind of just like burst out onto the scene. Like for me last year, I mean, I knew about him, but like not extensively, but Akil Baddoo with the Tigers, like not many people knew about him, and then he just emerged and it just was a stud for them. And now he's like a household name. So maybe it happens here with Kwan, but like good start so far.
But that's the thing, right? There's Akil Baddoo, and then there's Yermin Mercedes, who was 8 for 8 to start his White Sox career last year. Now, had been a career 4A player, was 28 years old, finally gets an opportunity, goes 8 for 8, was the toast of Chicago, and then basically out of baseball. In fact, was demoted in midseason, retired, popped back up, got hurt, still lurking around. But so, not to throw cold water on the weekend that was for Stephen Kwan, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to end up in the Hall of Fame. But hell of a start, buddy.
Yeah, no, exactly. 3 games, very small sample size, but I mean, you have to have that disclaimer in there, because I mean, 3 games is not going to define a guy's career. But good start though.
And I watched the highlights of it. I mean, most of them were flares that are landing in front of the outfielders. He had 1 ball off the wall, had a double, but this is your quintessential, at least in today's game, leadoff hitter, top of the lineup. All right. Can we go to Minnesota and Byron Buxton? And if he's healthy, Bert, do you look at him as a legit MVP candidate? He's hitting bombs to start the year.
1,000%, Carm. I will not even hesitate with that one. Buxton, when he's healthy, there are a few players who are as transcendent as him. And now we're finally seeing him healthy, and he's hitting bombs left and right. He hit triple decker the other day.
I mean, smoked. 98 up in the zone. He's turning it around.
Yeah. And like, there's not many players on this planet who can do that. And he can do that on a consistent basis. And you add that with his outfield defense too, where he's a gold glove guy out there. He's a very dangerous player. And when the Twins extended him for $100 million this past year, like there was a lot of risk there because he had not stayed healthy. And there was nobody who knew if he could actually stay healthy, but they bet on his talent. And through first few games of the year, you can see exactly why they end up making that bet, because if he's healthy, we're talking like about a $300 plus million player, and getting him for $100 million, absolute bargain. But it all depends on if he's healthy.
This taken from ESPN, past 81 games, goes back to September 2020. Buxton, 30 homers, 30 and 80. So that's 60 homer season. Just so I can do the easy math for everybody here. 25 doubles, 62 runs scored. He's homering once every 10 at bats.
Crazy.
That's wild. Now he's batted more than 350 times only once in his career. He's 28 years old. So we're looking for some health here, Bert. And Twins fans, hey, Carlos Correa had a bomb too. So, let's catch some, I wouldn't even call it lightning in a bottle, but let's get some guys healthy and see what they can do in that AL Central.
No, I'm in agreement with you, but I'll tell you, having a core where you have Carlos Correa and Byron Buxton, pretty damn good, Carm.
Not bad.
That'll play.
Not bad. All right, let me float to the other side real quick here, and then just big opening weekends or big not.
Yep.
I don't know how long Cody Bellinger's been struggling for, but it feels like it's a decade at this point. The dude hit 165 last year. This spring, Bert.
Yeah, it's awful.
I mean, it's spring training, so let's not freak, but he hit 139. He struck out 18 times in 37 plate appearances, and he had one walk. And then he was 0 for 8 to start the season, got a couple hits on Sunday. I know that you don't know what's going on with Bellinger other than it's just been bad, but this is like, for an MVP guy, pretty amazing how his, everything's turned. I don't know if it's physical problems or mental or what, but pretty stunning downturn that's continued for a long time and makes you wonder if he'll ever turn out of it, really.
And that's the question the Dodgers have to ask themselves: is Bellinger going to bounce out of this? And granted, you don't know all the reasons for him struggling, but a lot of it, in my opinion, can be pinpointed to that shoulder surgery that he underwent a couple of years ago, where he ended up hurting it while celebrating. And he has not been the same ever since. And it's really unfortunate because he was like, I mean, we're talking, is it a stretch to say a Hall of Fame player if he would have maintained the pace that he was at?
No question. It's MVP in his early 20s.
Yeah. And we were talking that we're like one of the best young rivalries and like friendships at the same time. And Christian Yelich and Cody Bellinger, now both players are just kind of like shells themselves. It's sad, but Bellinger, that scares me the most because you don't know if he's going to ever bounce back because of that shoulder injury. And also just because he's been struggling for so long now. It's like, is this the Cody Bellinger that we're going to see for the next decade? And you also because if he was going to end up getting extended by the Dodgers when he was in his prime, we're talking $300 million player. What's his extension look like now?
He's not getting one.
Nope.
Not at all.
No. But
hot
right
take
now,
for
I would have to say it's got to be that shoulder injury that's crushing him. I'm going to do more digging on it, but I don't know if he'll ever be the same, Carm.
All right, we got 2 reports coming back next week. Bert digging into Bellinger and Bert digging into the Carlos Rodon sweepstakes and what he can put out. Tell me about Roki Sasaki. 19 strikeouts, perfect damn game. Pitching in the, am I saying this right? Nippon Professional Baseball League. I should know that. It's the 16th.
Nippon, I think.
Nippon, thank you. First perfect game in the Nippon Professional Baseball since 1994, 16th in league history. He's a righty. He's 20 years old, 13 consecutive strikeouts, which is also a record in Japanese professional baseball. I know that before he signed there, Bird, he was at least considering coming to play Major League Baseball. Do you have any insight on all this stuff?
So admittedly, I don't. But that being said, we're talking about perhaps the greatest outing in Japanese professional baseball history. Because if you end up looking at this, the first perfect game in the NPB in 28 years, obviously tied the record for strikeouts in a game, and consecutive strikeouts at 13, Carm. I mean, that is like otherworldly performance. And you have to imagine this is going to be on the radar of every scout in baseball is like, okay, we got to do more digging on this guy and see what he's all about. Because obviously he's not going to throw a perfect game every outing, but if he can be a guy where he can pitch deep into games each week or each outing and do his thing. I mean, there's always teams looking for pitching, and he can end up being like the next, just like the next big name to come out of Japan as a pitcher. And something that I've heard a lot lately, especially in the last couple of years, is these teams in the majors are really trying to like hone in on their international scouting. Like one team that I know that's been doing that a lot is the St. Louis Cardinals with their assistant GM, Matt Slater. Like that team is really focused on the international waters, and there's a lot of other teams that are right behind them. But yeah, this is going to end up being on a lot of teams' radars for sure.
Fastball that tops 100. Supposedly he's got a nasty forkball. 105 pitches for a perfect game.
Pretty damn good. And 19 strikeouts. So
with
it's
19, that's
not
insane.
wasting a lot of pitches.
No, coming right at you, dude. You ain't touching me. That's some big time stuff right there. By the way, do you know who his manager is?
Oh shoot. I had somebody tell me this the other day, and it was like, whoa, I did not realize he was a manager out there. Tell me.
World Series champion, the 2005 Chicago White Sox, Tadahito Iguchi, who was their second. He was their second baseman at the ice. So for all my White Sox peeps out there, they're definitely getting a kick out of that. By the way, the White Sox are crushing the baseball. And don't sleep on Luis Robert as an MVP candidate. I've put that out there multiple times now. Luis Robert, center field, top of the lineup, stealing bags, hitting bombs, playing wicked defense. Bert. Luis Robert, Bert.
No relation, by the way.
No relation to you, buddy. That's absolutely correct. White Sox should have had a sweep on the opening weekend, but you had 2 blown saves in one game from Liam Hendricks, for the record. Is that you can? Actually, I need a clarification on that, Bert. If you come in the 8th and you've got a lead and you give it up, Tigers tie the game. White Sox go back ahead, top of the 9th, and then you come out and give it up again. Is that 2 blown saves? Because it really should be.
Because wouldn't Hendricks be in line for the win after blowing it? So
he would, but they ended up losing the game. So, and he was given a lead twice.
No, I think that just one blown save.
That's one blown save?
Yep.
Should be 2.
No, what's everybody else in your thing? Because I mean, to me, that's one blown save.
But forget about what everybody else thinks. Me and you, Bert.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm like 99.9% sure that's one blown save.
I mean, Sean Hunter maybe are checking the actual rule book here, but forget about the rule book. Doesn't it make more sense that would be 2?
Oof, 2 blown saves according to Sean. Yeah, that's a tough look for me. To me, that's one blown save, and then like push it in the category for a loss.
Well, he did get the loss, but he blew 2 saves. I mean,
shouldn't it just be? I don't know. I'm gonna have to hit up one of the stats or the official scorers that I know and see what he has to say about that one.
All right. Well, Bob Rosenberg's the guy in Chicago, but he's a cranky old fellow, so don't call him.
I got Jack O'Driscoll back over in Milwaukee, the happiest, most jolly guy you'll ever meet.
See, that's how you should be as a score guy. Easiest gig ever. You hang out, you scoring. I mean, air, E9, wild pitch, pass ball. What do they pay you for that?
The guy's happy with whatever he's making. So that's all I know.
Yeah.
And he brings in corn for a bunch of people, and because he's got like a big farm by him. It's like it's awesome. That's classic Wisconsin living right there. Guys,
he brings sweet corn to the press box for people.
Yeah, stuff that he picks fresh from the fields. It's awesome.
Have you ever taken any home?
I have, and it is very good. And he invites people over to his house and like cooks it up too. And yeah, the guy's an absolute G. I love him.
How long do you cook your corn for, Bert? Do you know?
As long as YouTube says I should.
Okay, there you go. Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'll tell you, if YouTube did not exist, Carm, I would be a very lost soul. It would be very bad.
Yeah, no, I don't know how the hell we lived without it. Thank God. Thank you, YouTube, and appreciate it. And by the way, continue to pump that Baseball Insiders content. We love you. All right, moving along. Aaron Judge didn't get his money. What happened there, Bert? Let's talk Yankees. Off to a decent start.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up their official offer just so I can have it like.
Oh wow, we got official.
Yeah, because this was one of the most bizarre ones that I've ever seen in my career in baseball. Like, I was floored by this. So entering opening day, Aaron Judge and the Yankees were talking about an extension. And the Yankees ended up making him a lucrative offer. It would have been one of their biggest deals in franchise history. And Judge said no to it. And then Brian Cashman in a press conference announced that they offered him 7 years for $213.5 million. Like, Cashman announced that. I've never heard a GM in any sport say what an offer is. And the reason he did that, he said, was because he did not want to field texts for days from reporters saying, hey, can you please confirm this? And he just went out right in the record to say that. And I also wonder if it was like a public way for Cashman to say, hey, this is not my fault it didn't get done. Here's what we offered. This is what Judge turned down. And it puts the ball in Judge's court, and like, it makes him kind of look bad, but he's also betting on himself at the same time because he thinks he can be a very, very, very handsomely paid player, more so than what the Yankees offer him. And he's got the talent to do it, but turning down what he did, huge risk. And I don't know if I would have done it.
That is $30,428,571 a year he turned down.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're making more Fansided than that. So
30 mil.
That's a lot of dough, Carm.
That's a lot of geet. What do you think? What does he think he's getting? 35?
I don't know what he thinks he's getting, but he's not going to get much more than that. And all it takes, because he said after it was all said and done that he turned it down, he said that he intends to talk to all 30 teams. And all it takes is one team to do it, but I don't know what team actually does it, because New York is a different market. Like, that's where there's the most money is going to be. And I can't picture a lot of other teams, or if any, trying to match what the Yankees offered him, unless he has an absolutely monster year this year where he stays healthy. That was a risk that I would not have taken about his Judge. And I think he may have cost himself some money doing that, but he was intent on betting on himself. And you know what? I respect the guy for doing that, but at the end of the day, it's not a risk I would have done.
It'd be really interesting to hear from Brian. If did you ask him, hey dude, what's it going to take? I mean, where are we off here? I'm sure that conversation happened, but it would be interesting. Like, I mean, you can't do all your negotiating in the public, but if you're letting everybody know that this 6'7", 282-pound stud who hit 158 homers and is going to be sought after all across baseball, but who's going to actually have the money to do it, this is what he wants. I'd be interested to, I wonder if people do the math. They're offering you 213. You're trying to get 230. I don't know.
Maybe even more than, because I actually saw his
235. If you get 5 more a year, that'd be 35 more million. So you're trying to get 250. All right.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, so say you're going for 250.
Yep.
Maybe you think you're worth a 10-year deal. Does he think he's a 10-year deal guy?
No, I would not give him that. I don't know. I don't think there's
29.
There's not many teams or any team that's who's willing to give out 10-year contracts anymore. Like, I think the last one we saw was Albert Pujols.
Well, they'll do it. They're just going to do it.
Junior, actually.
Yeah, I mean, they'll do it. Bryce Harper got 13 years.
Yeah, he got a lot of years.
But he was doing it at 26, I want to say.
I'm awful at years, so like that one, yeah.
Yeah, well, okay.
But I will say this, Carm, like, I from talking to other people in baseball, whether it's agents or executives, he may have overplayed his hand here.
Okay.
That was a risk. And the fact that the Yankees went on the record with what they offered says a lot to me, that they think this is a very fair offer and you're not going to get it elsewhere. So, like, yeah, it's I mean,
it's sort of what the Cubs did after the fact, saying like, we made fair offers to Anthony Rizzo, Javi Baez, Chris Bryant.
Yep.
And none of them got the money ultimately that the Cubs had been offering at that point. So we'll see what happens with Judge. But the problem, if I'm Aaron Judge, you're negotiating with the Yankees, dude. Deep pockets.
Yep.
You know, how many? I don't know. I mean, there is a significant thought that dude would look great at Wrigley Field, and the Cubs have money to spend. That could be one team that would be in on him.
You're reporting something right now, Carm?
No, and I'm not. I'm just there's no report there. But look, who could pay for him? Cubs would be one of those teams. Who else? Yeah. Who else would you say is in? Well, at least would consider Aaron Judge at that number?
I mean, I'm telling you, Carm. Like there's gonna be a lot of teams in on Judge, but just not at that number.
Okay.
Yeah, that injury history is going to scare a lot of teams. And plus, as you said, it'll be 29 when he's a free agent?
He's 29 right now, so he'll be 30.
Oh, 30. That, I mean, you're not paying for future performance. You're paying for potentially 2, 3, 4 good seasons, and then a lot of like blah seasons. So,
I like when Bert puts it on me. Are you reporting something?
I wanted the people to have clarity there, Carm. I wanted to make sure.
That is my territory, dude. I'm Robert Murray. You're Carm. I do the reporting on this damn show.
Sources tell the Carm. Yeah.
Radio talk show host that I listened to speculated that Aaron Judge of the Cubs should be a thing. That's what I got on you. And I think it's I mean, look, I wouldn't do it, but who knows what they'll spend on. All right, you wanted to do a little hit on Whit Merrifield.
Yeah, so I did. And he ended up restructuring his contract. And the fact that he restructured his contract to me was really bizarre because I saw the announcement from the Royals. And it was just like, huh. So I asked somebody involved with it. I'm like, what was the motivation behind it? And I'll pull up exactly what I ended up finding. It was, so I believe it was Merrifield's camp who reached out to the Royals about doing it. Just so they could end up guaranteeing the club option for next year. And the Royals, after a bit of talking, agreed to it. And they also moved some money around, moved like a few million from 2023 to this year. And his base salary for next year is really, really low. And it gets him more money now. But something that immediately popped into my head was that it makes Whit Merrifield a very attractive trade candidate next year. Or even later this year. So, I mean, there's been a lot of Whit Merrifield rumors for years now. He has not been traded, but this contract, one, good for the player for this year, but makes him extremely tradable and valuable to other teams. So, like, that's something I'm going to be watching out for.
Now, why do we think Whit wanted to do that?
That I don't. So it rewards Whit for what he has done, and also playing right field, because like that is not his natural position. So like that was part of the motivation for getting him more money now, and it also gives the Royals some financial flexibility for next year, whether they want to add to that payroll or they want to trade Merrifield and get as many top prospects as they can. So like it's a win for Merrifield now because he's playing out of position, but it's also good for the Royals next year, which is why both sides eventually agreed with.
Well, and teams are always looking for guys to hit at the top of the order. So you would think that the Royals will be able to recoup at least, I mean, maybe a huge amount of value with only 1 year left on his deal. I don't know.
Yeah.
We've heard Whit tied in a ton of deals over the years. It just has never happened. I guess nobody's willing to meet the price, but okay. All right. Little restructuring. Bert, anything else going on over there, buddy? Baseball's back. Did you watch, how many hours of baseball did you watch over the weekend?
A lot. Yeah. I'm not kidding you. Like I'd be making lunch. I'd be just chilling on my couch watching it. And I need to walk around like a change of scenery. So I'd go walk around like outside, and since it's like 95 degrees, might as well listen to it in my earphones or my AirPods, go lay out by the pool, have MLB TV on my phone, just watch, text as many people as I can, trying to understand some stuff. So still some stuff going on behind the scenes. I don't know if it ends up getting done, but we may not be done with extensions. I'll say that much.
Did you have the Ke'Bryan Hayes one last week?
That was me.
Can you do that again? Oh
There
my
you
God.
go.
I mean, this guy is just, I mean, this is, you're America's darling, Robert Murray. That was just, I mean,
I tried.
I don't know how I forgot, but did you get enough love on Twitter for having that one?
That ended up blowing up more than I thought. I ended up getting over 50,000 followers, by the way, Carm. So it's a big day for me.
You went from what to what?
49, like 8 to 50.2. So I got
Okay. There's a 400 follower a day, buddy.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I mean, we're cooking with gas now, Carm. This is I no longer feel like I'm waiting to get over 50. I don't keep close count on my follower count, but like 50 was a big milestone for me. Like that's one I was actually fighting for entering the off season. So I'm pretty pumped.
What do I got to do to get tagged on every single one of your tweets? I would not be here without At the Carm. I would be here without At the Carm, but I love At the Carm so much. Something like that.
Hey, I could do that. I could even include you in all my scoops. Sources tell me and At the Carm.
So that would be perfect if you could just do that, or just something along those lines. No, Bert, great job. Way to keep being the young stud mover and shaker that you are. Great job with Hayes, and good to be with you today, buddy. Good to have baseball.
Good to be with you too. Yeah, I'll tell you, having baseball back, Carm, has added some massive juju to the step. Like, I'll tell you, I'll talk for the both of us here. The boys are absolutely freaking buzzing. So yeah, hype city, Carm.
Who are the boys?
You and me.
Oh, we're buzzing.
Yeah, we're buzzing. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know we were, but now that I do, I'll okay, we're buzzing. I'll say my new favorite thing going on right now for me is that because and thank you, by the way, YouTube, for doing everything you can for the show. But as a YouTube TV subscriber, I finally have figured out how to watch things on my phone. So to be able to, be sitting at a bus stop or be anywhere and I can just pull up some baseball and sit there and watch it. It's changing my world, Bert.
Pretty sweet, isn't it?
I didn't have that before, Bert.
You're growing up, Carm. I mean, that's awesome.
Things are changing for me. All right, we're back next week. Happy opening weekend in the book. Enjoy week 2 of full week of baseball. And yes, hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification. Get that ding going. And yeah, we appreciate it. We appreciate you.
Yeah, if you do subscribe and comment, we will be best friends and pen pals. So that's just added incentive.
And Robert will wink at you personally. There it is. We'll see you next week.